Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon Silver Nuzlocke. Opening up today's episode with our second rival battle here. I brought out Petra in the lead because I realized I'm going to need to train her up a bit before we get to the third gym here, because Whitney is going to be pretty tough, and Petra's the only one who can resist, I believe, all of the Whitney's Miltank's moves. So I definitely want to make sure Petra's trained up well enough. Probably going to want to pull her out of this battle because I think Ghastly can have Nightshade, and that would be a dangerous thing to leave in Petra against because it'd be a two-hit knockout. So let's bring in Tsunami and go ahead and knock out this Ghastly Lick. You know, back in Gen 1, really, Paralysis? Back in Gen 1, Lick was one of the only Ghost-type moves as far as I know. I think Nightshade and Lick were the only ones, and out of those two, Nightshade does a fixed amount of damage, so Lick was really the only option Ghost types had. In this game, they added in Shadow Ball, which is basically like the all-rounder kind of move that every type has. You know, like Flamethrower and Surf and all that. You know, the moves that have 100 accuracy and do 95 damage, which then got reduced to 90 back in the later games. Although certain types have moves that have 100 accuracy and only do like 80. And I think Shadow Ball is one of those moves. But anyways, every type seems to have one of those moves that does, you know, that a good amount of damage. It also has 100 accuracy, and I tend to prefer those moves over stuff like Fire Blast and Hydro Pump due to the accuracy issues. And our rival already has a Bayleaf, so let's bring out Luke. Probably that's the best option we have against Bayleaf. I'm pretty sure our rival would have a Croconaw too at the same level, even though it doesn't make sense because Croconaw, Totodile doesn't evolve into Croconaw until level 18, as I mentioned I think last episode, or maybe the one before. That was a critical? Really? Okay. Hopefully this Razor Leaf doesn't do too much. We do resist it, so come on. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. It's going to take a couple picks to take out Bayleaf. Another critical! Well, hey, luck's on my side today. I'm a little worried, though, because if luck's on my side now, I'm kind of worried that it won't be later on when I really need it. And let's finish off Bayleaf here. Don't need a critical for that final hit, although I would have laughed if there was another critical. There's a level for Luke. I do have to look up when Luke evolves, because I'm kind of curious about that. Hypnosis. Ooh, Hypnosis. Yes, I do want Hypnosis. I completely forgot that Hoot Hoot learns Hypnosis. Let's get rid of Foresight, because that's a completely useless move, in my opinion. It's used for certain things. I mean, you can use it on a Ghost type, and your normal type attacks will hit it after that, but I don't really see that as being useful, because I can just switch into somebody else. And, Zubat. Who should we bring out for Zubat? Let's bring out Scabbers, because Scabbers hasn't had a chance to shine in this fight yet. And Scabbers is also getting close to evolving as well, so we definitely want to train him up, because we want to get Eradicate. That would definitely be helpful. And let's put Hyper Fang on the top, because that's our most powerful move. Although it does have a slightly lower accuracy, so I would be worried about that missing when I really need it to hit, but we'll see what happens. And there we go. That rival battle wasn't too difficult. In fact, I don't think the rival battles in this game are ever that difficult, because the last rival fight you had before the Elite Four, your rival's Pokemon are still in their high 30s, and I think his starter's at level 40. And then you fight him again in Kanto, but he's not much stronger after that. And at that point, you've already beaten the Elite Four and probably several Kanto gyms. So honestly, Silver, or as I named him in this game, Ben, is not that threatening a rival. And after a quick heal, I'm heading on to Ilex Forest. Now this person here says something about a protector in the forest, and I know when I was a kid, I knew that was Celebi. At least I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Celebi. And let's make sure we have the right Pokemon out in the lead. Yeah, Petra will do. There's a lot of bug types in here. I thought there was some way to actually get Celebi just by playing the game. So I think one of my friends, you know how back in the day when the first Pokemon games were out and people would tell you like, oh, you can find Pokemon next to Pallet Town, that grass that you can't get to. They're like the Poke Gods or stuff like that. Well, I think I was told at one point that if you talk to there's a little shrine further on in the forest. I think I was told that if you talk to that shrine enough times, that it will spawn Celebi in. So like every day I would go load up my game and talk to the shrine to try and get Celebi to show up, but obviously that's not the case. You can't get Celebi except through events. Although, actually, there is a glitch you can use, and I think it involves a Sneasel with the move Beat Up somehow, and you can use that to... okay, this isn't the way we want to take this. You can use a Sneasel with Beat Up to somehow glitch in a Celebi. I'm not 100% sure how that works, because I haven't actually done that glitch myself, but yeah, in the same way that, you know, back in Red, Blue, and Yellow, there were ways to get a Mew through glitching, and here's our first encounter of the area. Oh, by the way, I need to catch this Pokemon, whatever this is, a Kakuna. I would have preferred a Weedle, because at least it would have had some attacking moves, but oh well. Yeah, I almost forgot that we have to catch this Pokemon. I was about to kill this thing and just cut it, but then I realized, you know, we have to actually, you know, catch this Pokemon. And so keep using Harden. I suppose I could switch on to somebody else, but I feel like it's less likely that Petra would get a unlucky critical and kill it, because Petra's a little bit lower level and closer to Kakuna's level, and I don't want to... I mean, I don't really want a Kakuna, to be honest. I mean, like I said, I really would have preferred a Weedle, so at least I would have had some attacking moves with it. And even Beedrill isn't super great, although it gets pretty good later on in X and Y and on, I think. Or I think it's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire add the Mega, I think. But yeah, it does have a Mega Evolution that actually is pretty decent. But unfortunately, we don't have Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions were not even a thought in anybody's head at this point in time. And he's already maxed out his defenses. I think that's probably low enough. It's Kakuna, for crying out loud. So let's just throw a Pokeball and get this over with. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be using Kakuna unless I absolutely have no other choice. So yeah, let's think of a nickname for Kakuna. Maybe something related to bees, perhaps? Okay, so I named Kakuna, who, if I ever end up using it, will end up being a big drill. I named it Buzz Buzz, which may seem super uncreative and lame, but I'm actually naming it after the bee in the beginning of the game Earthbound, which is one of my favorite games. I actually thought about doing a Let's Play of that game at some point, and I still might do that. But anyways, Buzz Buzz is like, if you haven't played Earthbound, Buzz Buzz is a bee who comes from the future to warn the main characters of Earthbound that there's an evil guy out there who wants to destroy the world, and that Ness, the main character of Earthbound, is the only one who can save the world. And yeah, Buzz Buzz does die like right after that, because he gets killed, unfortunately, by Pokey's mother, who thinks it's a dung beetle for some reason. But anyways, continuing on. And there's another level for Petra, so that's good. Won't be until level 25 that Petra evolves into Graveler. But we should be getting Rock Throw pretty soon. I'm definitely looking forward to getting Rock Throw, because Rock Throw will be incredibly useful. And I think this will push the Farfetch'd upwards? Yes, there we go. And... which way? Which way? I think we want to go this way, right? No. Okay, then. There we go, that's better. Okay. So now we're getting this Farfetch'd all the way back up to its owner. In the remakes, I feel like this was a bit more difficult, actually. Because there are actually two Farfetch'd you have to bring back. And I feel like the puzzle wasn't as clear. I feel like this one's a lot easier, but in that one, I feel like there's one point where you talk to it from one side and it actually goes a different way than you think it would. But anyways, we receive HM01 from this guy. What's this guy's name? I don't know. But anyways, we have HM01, so now we can cut down that tree and proceed. And before we get going further, well, first of all, let's go ahead and teach somebody Cut. Unfortunately, we are going to have to hang on to Cut on one of our Pokemon until... ooh, I think it's until Blackthorn City, which is where the final gym is. So somebody's going to have to be hampered with this. Brussel, maybe? Yeah, because you have a free spot, so I guess Brussel will have to have Cut. But yeah, unfortunately, HMs are definitely a thing in these games. Alright, so let's go ahead and head back to Azalea Town real quick to pick up a item that we want. Okay, so after healing up real quick, we want to head into the home of the two people that we just saved the Farfetch'd for. And this guy is going to give us a charcoal. Maybe not. Okay, so the other guy's gonna give us a charcoal then. If you remember last episode, I showed you that you could buy a charcoal in the Pokemart for like 9,800 Pokédollars. But you can get one for free here. We don't have any fire types to make use of that at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get a fire type at some point, possibly. Actually, that's not that likely because fire types are actually fairly uncommon. Anyways, let's continue on. Alright, so with cut in hand, we can now go ahead and chop down this tree right here. And that's the little shrine I was talking about that I thought you could access Celebi through. And no, this isn't going to be Celebi. Just a Weedle. And Petra just leveled up to level 10 there, but we got poisoned in the process by Weedle, so let's go ahead and heal that off real quick. I do believe I bought a couple of antidotes at one point. Yeah, there we go. Don't feel like running all the way back again, because I just got back there and healed before getting the charcoal, so I don't want to do that all over again. By the way, these bushes that line the sides of the path here are actually headbuttable. I think we're going to be getting Headbutt pretty soon here, and you can use Headbutt to get Pokemon out of trees. You can actually do that in some towns too, so that opens up the ability for us to catch Pokemon. We're poisoned again. Anyways, that opens up the possibility for us to catch a Pokemon in some of the towns that don't have, you know, water to surf on or something like that. And of course, we don't really want to get too many Water-type Pokemon, so we already got our starter who's a Water-type Pokemon. I would say if you're going for maximum efficiency, as I mentioned before, Fire types are the least common type out of the starters type, so I would go with Cyndaquil if you want efficiency in terms of your Nuzlocke, but I'm mostly just doing this for fun. I mean, I don't mean it to be like super challenging, but I'm also, you know, not trying to like min-max it and like get the best things possible, you know. I mean, I guess it's impossible to get the absolute best things when you're playing Nuzlocke because you kind of have to just get what you get, but yeah, so I picked Totodile because it's my favorite. That's really the reason, even though it's not really the best starter at this point in time. Anyways, Headbutt, we're gonna teach Headbutt to somebody. Let's see, and you can buy another Headbutt TM in Goldenrod, so it's not too big a deal if you end up quote-unquote wasting it. Let's give it to Tsunami, because Tsunami could use a better move than Scratch, I would think. I was actually wondering if Tsunami could learn Headbutt. And let's get rid of Scratch there. And now we can continue on. We're almost out of Ilex Forest. Just like Union Cave, Ilex Forest is a very, very short dungeon area, because it just doesn't have much in here. And there's that rock throw. And like I was saying, there's not much in here. There's no trainers or anything like that, so it feels fairly short. I think in Crystal version they do actually add some trainers in here for you to fight. By the way, rock throw is making it a whole lot easier to make it through all these bug types, although we only had one more Pokemon to fight after we got that. So let's go ahead and use a potion real quick on Petra, just to make sure we're topped off on health. I don't want any unwelcome surprises. And we've definitely been doing pretty good on leveling up Petra there to get her ready for the third gym here. Here's a free TM. We get Sweet Scent, which is, in my opinion, not very useful. If you use it in the field, you can use it to make a Pokemon immediately come to you and attack you, but I don't know. I don't think it's that useful, and it's not that useful in battle either. Okay, and continuing on to our next trainer up here. This is the first trainer of this type. I believe he's a... what is he? Let's get into the battle and see what he is, because I think he's a Pokefan, and Pokefans tend to have Pokemon like Pikachu and Clefairy, and I guess this one has a Snubbull. They're usually not very good trainers. They're usually pretty weak, because like Pikachu and Snubbull and all those kind of Pokemon are not actually that good. Okay, let's check on our health for Petra. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on healing just yet. But right now, we do have a Pokemon we can catch before I continue on too far. Let's bring in Scabbers, I think. And let's see what pops up. I don't really know what you can find here. I know you can find Ditto, but it's kind of rare. And I'm not sure Ditto would really be a good option, honestly. So let's see what we can find that we don't already have. Oh, okay, a Drowsy. That's actually pretty interesting. I did remember, now that I think about it, I do remember that Drowsies can appear here. But that's a Psychic type, and we don't have any Psychic types yet, so that does help add variety if we did decide to add Drowsy to our team. And it also has Hypnosis, which could be helpful, although we already have Hypnosis on our team, because we have Luke there, but another Hypnosis user can never hurt. I mean, Sleep is probably one of my favorite status conditions, although Hypnosis has a pretty low accuracy, and we might want to use a Great Ball here to try and help to catch this thing, because it does have a bit of a more difficult catch rate than some of the stuff we found up to this point. But anyways, Sleep is definitely very useful, but Hypnosis has a really low accuracy, so I don't like relying on it. But it is useful for catching Pokemon, and it's also useful for, you know, boss battles when you're trying to... You can use stat-up moves while your opponent's asleep and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, a nickname for Drowsy. It's a female Drowsy. Okay, so with the nickname Lucy, which is kind of short for lucid dreaming, which is a type of dreaming in which you're aware of the fact that you're dreaming. You can basically do anything you want. I've never actually done that myself, but I've heard people who actually have learned how to do it. But you basically have to learn how to trick yourself into, you know, constantly asking yourself if you're awake or if you're dreaming, and then you get to the point where it's just like something you do constantly, and you kind of end up doing it in your sleep, in your dream, and you realize that you're dreaming, and you can basically control the dream however you want. It's kind of an interesting concept, but I don't know if I could ever, you know, pull something like that off. Anyways, continuing on with more trainer fights. And more trainers up here. I think we're almost to the end of this route. And continuing on, up here we have the daycare. If you put a Pokemon in here, I actually think I'm going to drop off a couple of my Pokemon here. Let's go ahead and go through the PC and pull out a couple Pokemon we're not using to leave here. Okay, and I decided to pull out Buzz and... Oh, I guess they have an egg for us. Or maybe not. I thought they were going to give us an egg just there. Maybe not. Okay. So we're going to leave Lucy and Echo here. Because I feel like those two Pokemon are the ones that are, besides the ones in my team currently, those are the ones who... No, I don't want to take my Pokemon back. Can I not leave two Pokemon here? Because I thought I could. Okay. Okay, I guess you have to talk to each of them. That's interesting. That's not a thing in the later games, I don't think. But you have to give one Pokemon to each of them for some reason. So let's get out our main team members again. Okay, and now we're ready to continue on. One little interesting thing, you can come out here and see your two Pokemon. Although, in these games, the little character sprites are a little bit more limited. And you can leave them here to breed them and get an egg, but obviously these two Pokemon are not compatible at all. One of them is more like a tapir kind of Pokemon, and one of them is a bat, so I wasn't really leaving them here to breed. I'm just leaving them here to gain some levels. If it was nighttime, we'd be able to fight this guy, but it's not. We might come back here to just get that extra experience. But for now, let's continue on. We got one more trainer before we hit Goldenrod City. And there we go. Now we're entering Goldenrod City, which is, I believe, the biggest city in... At the very least, the biggest city in Johto. It's probably pretty close, if not the same size as Saffron City over in Kanto. Although Kanto has quite a few big cities. I feel like Saffron and Celadon, those are both pretty big cities. Anyways, let's check out a couple things around the town before we head on over to the next route up here, where I'm going to do some more trainer fighting before I take on the gym. First of all, tucked away in a little corner over here is the bike shop, where if we walk in and talk to the owner, he tells us that he's not selling many bicycles because it's kind of tucked away in the corner. Nobody really sees this shop. It was kind of a... You probably should have picked a shop that's more on the main road over there. But anyways, we get a free bicycle and we can ride it. And if we ride it enough, eventually he'll call us and tell us we can keep it. But if we don't ride it that much, then we can keep it anyway. So it doesn't really matter if you ride it or not. Either way, it is your bicycle and you get to keep it. Next place I want to pay a visit to is the Goldenrod City department store, which is basically the Goldenrod City Pokemart, but it's a lot bigger. I think I'm good on potions and Pokeballs. I really want to stock up on TMs here, though, because there are a lot of good TMs. And Gold, Silver, Crystal are famous for having the punch attack TMs, which in this game are special attacks, as interesting as it sounds. So a Pokemon like Alakazam using one of these punch attacks is actually quite the thing. You wouldn't really think of Alakazam as the punching type, but it is. Alakazam with Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Ice Punch has a lot of coverage and was actually pretty good back in the day. I'm not sure if I can use Ice Punch right away. I wanted to get that for Tsunami. I'm not sure if I can learn it right now or if we have to wait until it evolves. Oh, we can learn it right now. That's good. Because yeah, I definitely want to get Ice Punch because I like having that ice coverage. And I'll be using Ice Punch probably through the end of the game when we get to Lance, because I always have trouble with his Dragonites, and even though Tsunami's not a special attacker, I'm going to make use of Ice Punch to do a lot of damage to Lance's dragon types. That's basically the strategy I go to every time I play these games, and the remakes too, especially since Ice Punch is physical then. But we're heading down into the underground where there are a couple of trainer battles, as well as a couple other interesting things we can check out. This guy apparently was kicked out of the game quarter because he was trying to cheat using his Pokemon. I don't know how that happened. And now we got, I think, another trainer right up here too. And that guy had a Lickitung, which is actually a pretty scary Pokemon at this point in the game. Not quite as scary as a Miltank, but it did give Scabbers quite the walloping, and we ended up switching into Petra to finish it off. Speaking of Petra, we should bring Petra back out into the lead so we can keep getting levels on her. Haven't been using Mamba yet, but I'll probably start leveling her up at some point. I want to make sure Petra's leveled up enough to take on the gym, though. That's my first priority. After that, Petra might get... Or not Petra, Mamba will probably get some levels a little while after that. This guy right here is, I believe, one of the Haircut brothers. Yeah, and he'll give us a haircut and increase the happiness of one of our Pokemon. It's not too expensive, so we might as well do it, even though we don't have any Pokemon that really rely on having happiness. Let's give Tsunami a haircut, as interesting as it sounds, because Tsunami doesn't have any hair. So I'm not sure exactly what he ended up doing. Yeah, that's a little weird. And here's another trainer here, and I think we got one more after that, and then we'll be out of the underground here. Okay, so that guy had a couple of Magnemites, which is not something I was really prepared for, because it's a Steel type, and I don't really have anything that's neutral or good against Steel at this point in time. Yeah, as I was saying, I don't have anything good against or neutral against Steel except for on Pokemon that are weak to Lightning, so I don't want to send those guys out. Anyways, we're getting higher up in levels. Petra is pretty much caught up to our team at this point, although we definitely want to keep leveling her up. Over this way is a locked door. I figure I'll go show this off real quick. But yeah, it's locked, we can't get in there, and there's nothing to do at this point in time, but we will come back here much later in the game when Team Rocket takes over the radio tower. I hope you guys don't mind that these are semi-spoilers, but really, I mean, especially at this point in the series, there's not much of a story to Pokemon, and if you haven't played these games already, I mean, you're not really being spoiled much, because like I said, there's not really much of a story, honestly. Okay, and after healing up, there's one more thing I want to do here. Here's a suspicious-looking Team Rocket member here. I wish I could fight him right there and tell him to get lost, you know, but anyways, so right here in the radio tower, I believe if we talk to this guy, we can do the lottery, and we could win a prize, although it's very unlikely that we could actually win something decent. But, you know, it's always worth trying. I probably won't come back here every episode, or every day to try and do that, because it would be a pain in the butt without Fly, but once I have Fly, I'll probably come back here every day and try and win some decent stuff. But anyways, we're going to get the radio card here. We have to take a really easy quiz. Can the town map be displayed on a Pokegear? Yes, it can, if you remember to talk to the old man in the second town. Can Nidorina be female only? Yes, that is correct. And the third question is, could the Pokeball Craftsman use Apricorn? No, he uses Apricots. Although if you haven't been paying attention that much, you probably might not have known that one. Magikarp won't learn any TM moves. I believe that's correct. Yes, it is. I feel like that might not be the case later on in the game. Is Mary the co-host of the show? Well, technically Mary is the co-host of the show, but it's not spelled like that. So if this was her actually asking me that, I don't know how the character would know. How I would know, you know, if she just said, is the co-host named Mary? Well, no, that it's not, because it's spelled differently. Well, I don't know that just from you saying it, but obviously because there's text on a screen, I can actually tell. But anyways, that was our last stop in Goldenrod for now, so we're heading on up to the north. Over here's the gym, we're not heading there just yet. Over here's the Name Raider, and also, don't need to go there, I'm not going to change any Pokemon's nicknames. But if I ever accidentally catch a Pokemon and forget to give it a nickname, then that's where we'll be heading to do that. But yeah, continuing on, there are quite a few trainers up here, so let's go ahead and get through these and get some levels on Petra and the rest of our team. There's a new move for Petra, a very much appreciated ground type move, which will help because I know we have at least one trainer with Magnemites coming up soon, and Magnemites can be a bit of a threat if you don't have anything to take care of them with. Okay, I guess I was mistaken about Rattata's evolution level, because it's at level 16 right now and it hasn't evolved yet, so I guess it might be like 18 or something like that, maybe even 20. So yeah, I really do hope to have Scabbers evolve before the 3rd gym here, even though we're probably going to be relying mostly on Petra, but I'd like to have my team as strong as possible before we get there. Anyways, I believe one of these trainers is the one that has the Magnemites, although maybe this guy just has Voltorbs. Alright, so he did just have Voltorbs, and Petra's newfound Magnitude made short work of them, so that wasn't too bad. And I think this next guy over here actually has Magmar, so again, Petra will make short work of him as well. I can see how this guy would be difficult, though, if you're not prepared for it, because Magmar is a pretty strong Pokemon, again, for this point in the game. So if you weren't ready for it, I feel like if you didn't have any Pokemon that could resist fire types, you might have a little bit of trouble. Anyways, let's bring somebody else out here, and we're going to be going after... Let's bring out... yeah, Brussel did learn Sleep Powder at some point. I don't know if I actually mentioned that or not. But we do have another Pokemon we can catch here, so I want to bring out Brussel so we have Sleep Powder, so we can put it to sleep to make it easier to catch it. You know, if need be. And here's a Nidoran. Nidoran's actually a pretty good thing to catch here. I don't think it's even that common, so I'm kind of surprised we ran into one. But Nidoking is pretty decent. It's not as strong as I used to think, because it looks really, really powerful, but I don't think any of its stats really go over 100. So it's not, like, great, but it is pretty decent. For in-game purposes, it is pretty good, and it's bulky, and it is fairly powerful. Let's see if we can get a Sleep Powder. I'll put this thing to sleep, and it should be pretty much a sure thing to catch it. And I think this time I actually do already have a nickname in mind for it. I don't have to go Googling for something to use. And yet, a regular Pokeball should do it, because sleep does make it easier to catch Pokemon. And as for its nickname, because it does evolve into Nidoking, I'm going to name it Caesar. Even though Caesar wasn't really a king, he's kind of a leader of sorts, so I feel like it does kind of fit. I think that's how you spell Caesar. If it's not, post in the comments and let me know. And tell me how stupid I am, because I don't know how to spell Caesar. I should know that because I took a Roman history class a while back there. But anyways, healing up Brussel because we did take a little bit of damage there. And let's bring somebody else out because I think we have a bug catcher coming up here. Petra's starting to out-level the rest of our team, but I don't really mind that much because we really, really want to make sure Petra's strong enough to take on Whitney's gym. I mean, I feel like maybe I'm blowing this all out of proportion, and I feel like I'm probably just going to end up breezing through Whitney's gym and not losing anybody, but I don't know. I'm still worried about it, you know. I mean, because I've always had trouble with it in playing non-Nuzlocke challenges, and it's the gym that everybody talks about as being the most challenging one in the whole series, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it definitely has a reputation, and it has a reputation for a reason, because it is fairly difficult. Fairly difficult for, especially for that point in the game, to have a Miltank, because a lot of the Pokemon that don't evolve at all and are single stage tend to be pretty strong in terms of stats because they don't ever evolve. So a Pokemon like Miltank, or like I talked about, you know, Magmar could be threatening. Lickitung back in the Underground Pass was a little bit scary, but not too bad because it wasn't that high level. But Pokemon like those can be a little bit threatening if you're not prepared for them, and if you don't have anything to resist their attacks, because they are going to have higher stats than pretty much anything you can get up until that point. And I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this time to go ahead and run back and heal real quick, and I'll meet you guys right back here. Alright, I healed up. I stocked up a bit on items because I was running out of regular potions, although I still have super potions, I believe. But I wanted to make sure I had regular potions for, you know, just in case, you know, I'm just a little bit low on health and I want to top things off. Today is Wednesday. If today was a Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, I believe, we could have participated in the bug catching contest and caught some nifty bug-type Pokemon here. Although, honestly, we probably would have ended up with, like, a Caterpie or a Weedle or something like that, because, honestly, because of the Nuzlocke rules, we wouldn't be able to, you know, search around for, like, a Scyther or something cool. We'd have to catch whatever we found first, and chances are we'd find something kind of useless. So, speaking of which, if I found something like a Weedle, I already have a Kakuna, so I think that's going to fall under Duplicate's Clause, honestly. In my opinion, I think it should. By the way, I have this Miracle Seed I should have given to Brussels a long time ago, because it boosts the power of Grass-type moves. But I did pick up that Quick Claw right there, so I want to give that to somebody who's a little bit slower, like probably Petra. Petra's a little bit on the slower side, so let's give that to her. But anyways, because of the Nuzlocke rules, I wouldn't be able to catch, you know, whatever I wanted here, so... and as I was saying about the Duplicates clause, if I find a Weedle, I'm gonna consider that a Pokemon I've already had, because I do have a Kakuna already. Speaking of which, here's a Weedle right here. This was the first Pokemon I found in the park here. Since I do have a Kakuna already, I feel like that I can basically consider that the same thing. It's the same evolution line. So I'm gonna extend the Duplicates clause to include any Pokemon of an evolution line, which basically means that I'm gonna catch whatever else I find here. Which it probably isn't gonna be anything that good, because I don't think you can find anything that interesting in this area. But yeah. Okay, so let's continue on. Actually, before we fight some more trainers, let's go ahead and see if we can find a Pokemon that we don't already have. Bring out Luke for Hypnosis and see if we can run into something. I don't really know what you can catch here outside of the bug catching contest, because I know the Pokemon you can find here during the bug catching contest are different than the ones that normally appear, and it's a Sunkern. Sunkern is infamous for, in these games, up until at least Generation 5 or 6, I think, it's infamous for having the lowest base stat total of any Pokemon. So, you could say I'm mildly disappointed by finding a Sunkern. Sunflora's okay, I think. It's really slow, but it does have decent special attack, I'm pretty sure. But let's try and put this thing to sleep and give it a catch. But yeah, unless I actually lose Brussels or something like that, we probably won't be using Sunkern. And I'm not really a big fan of Sunflora. I think it's kind of a silly looking Pokemon. It's not really one of those Pokemon that's like, it's not cute, it's not cool looking, it's kind of just, it's a Sunflora, you know, like, I'm just not a big fan of it. I'm just throwing a Great Ball because it is still kind of high in health, and I feel like I'm going to knock it out if I try and hit it again. And even though it's not really a desirable Pokemon, I do want to make sure I catch it just in case I need it later on. It's always nice to have as many Pokemon as possible in case we hit a difficult spot in the game where we end up losing some Pokemon and we need to fill out the team again. So let me see if I can think of a good nickname for a Sunkern. Alright, Sunkern's name is Sunny. It's not that creative. Yeah, that's its nickname. That's it. Anyways, so yeah, we're getting close to leveling up Tsunami here and evolving into Croconaw, so I'm keeping Tsunami out again to finish off some of these trainers. I think this battle should probably be the one where we evolve here. And I think that's actually going to be our first evolution of the Nuzlocke. Alright, I didn't have too much of a problem leaving Tsunami in against the Voltorb, because at this point in the game, Voltorbs don't have any Electric-type moves. And there's level 18, so it's time to evolve Tsunami into Croconaw at long last. Like I said before, usually at this point in the game, I don't know if I want to say usually, but I used to, at this point in the game, I know I used to always have a Feraligatr, because I would hit level 30, but that's because I used to always solo run the games, or I would hold off on catching new Pokemon until I got to a certain point. So at this point, having my 1 or 2 Pokemon that I'd have at level 30 already wouldn't be that big of a deal. Alright, so there we go. Tsunami has evolved into Croconaw and is going to be doing a lot more work now that he's a lot stronger and our first evolution of the series. So let's go ahead and bring Scabbers out, see if we can get Scabbers evolved this episode as well before we take on Whitney. There's some interesting looking grass over here. I think this is the only place in the game where you see tall grass that looks like this. And I don't know, it looks kind of interesting, but at the same time it does look a little odd. It looks less like a consistent area of grass and more like a bunch of individual little sprouts of grass. Okay, remember how I said Pokefans really aren't that threatening? That guy had a Raichu. I don't remember that, but it almost killed Scabbers. Actually got a critical hit off on Scabbers and did quite a bit of damage, and I got a little scared there for a second. So let's go ahead and heal Scabbers up and continue on now. Yeah, there's a lot more threatening fights than I remember in this game. Of course, that's probably because when I played this game previously, I never really did Nuzlocks. So all those scary Pokemon, if I, lost a Pokemon to them, it wasn't a big deal. And we're getting close to level 17 here, and I'm pretty sure now that Scabbers does evolve at 18. Although I don't want to say for sure now, because if I say for sure, then we're going to hit level 18, it's not going to evolve, I'm going to be like, wait, what? Does this person have anything to say? Mail, don't really care about mail. Mail's a little something you can give it's a held item you can give your Pokemon, and when you trade it to another person, they can read the mail, and it's kind of nifty, I guess, but in these games, if you're trading, you have to actually use a link cable, so you might as well just talk to the person that's sitting right next to you that you're trading with. I don't know what really the point of mail would be in that situation. If you're in the more recent games and you can actually trade over Wi-Fi, that's a little bit different because you can send a little message with your Pokemon. I actually don't know. Maybe you can't send mail through that, or it might be limited in some way. I don't remember. Because obviously a Pokemon's a kid's game and they don't want somebody sending inappropriate messages with their Pokemon, and it's probably a little bit harder to keep track of, what's being said in the mail messages. Because I know they have filters on the newer Pokemon games in terms of nicknames, so you can't name your Pokemon like swear words and that kind of stuff. So, and it's a little, it can be a little strict at times because it'll censor a word that's a swear word in another language, but it's actually part of a name in English. So it's kind of weird because you're trying to name your Pokemon something like Violet, and it censors it, and you're like, why is it censoring the name Violet? What's wrong with that? But you realize that there's actually an inappropriate word in there in another language or something like that. Here's an Ice Berry, which I guess heals you from freezing, which we're not really going to see much of, especially at this point in the game. We are all topped off on health, right? Okay, we're good enough. To continue on, we got a couple more trainers here, and I think that's it before we have to fight Whitney. So we're getting close to that confrontation here. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Scabbers, you were so close. Oh, I went up against a couple of Abras, and they weren't that threatening because they didn't really have any attacking moves. But then that Kadabra came out, and I was like, oh yeah, Scabbers can handle it. It has really low physical defense, right? And yeah, Scabbers didn't handle it. That was our first death of the series. Oh, that's sad. I was really hoping to get Eradicate going, because Eradicate can be pretty decent, I think, but yeah, that's just too bad. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to lose anybody until we got to Whitney, but I forgot there actually are quite a few threatening trainers. Just, random trainers are actually pretty scary. Luckily, Kadabra isn't using Confusion again. It's wasting time. I wish I could have done it. Why didn't it keep doing that when I had Scabbers out? Oh, that's just sad, though. So yeah, that's our first loss of the series. We're going to have to go back and take Scabbers out of the team and replace him with somebody else. Alright, well, we might as well finish off this route before we head back to the Pokemon Center to say our final goodbyes to Scabbers. So let's go ahead and bring out... Actually, no, let's bring out Luke, because I think the next guy over here has a couple of oddities, because it's another schoolboy. And there we go. Didn't lose anybody that time. It was a Tangela, which, even though that's a base form Pokemon that doesn't evolve at this point in the series, it's not that threatening. But yeah, Kadabra is definitely a scary Pokemon. Luckily, I don't think there's really any Alakazams in these games, because that would be even worse. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna cut back until we get back to Goldenrod City, so you guys don't have to see that whole trek back there. Goodbye, Scabbers. You were a good Pokemon. You did your job. You were strong. You held out until the end. Sorry to see you go. Okay, so we're gonna bring in, I think, maybe, let's bring in Caesar, I think. Caesar seems like he could be pretty decent. So, welcome to the team, Caesar, the male Nidoran. So after saying our farewells to Scabbers, the beloved Rattata, I've decided to add Caesar, the male Nidoran, to our team. So, welcome to the team, Caesar. Hope to see some big things from you. Nidoking, like I said, is actually a pretty decent Pokemon. It's really bulky, and bulky Pokemon are actually really useful in things like Nuzlocks. So anyways, I think it's time to head on the gym. I think we've done all the preparing we need to do. I think I'm all stocked up on items too. I'll try to avoid using my items during the actual gym fight, and I'll probably give some berries to my Pokemon just to be sure. But I'll save the potions for the actual gym leader, and if I need to heal in between fights, then I'll run back to the Pokemon Center. to get some free heals, because, you know, might as well do that. Anyways, let's bring out, is anyone else close to evolving? I'm not sure what level Brestle evolves at, but Brestle's a little bit lower level than the rest of our team at this point, other than our new member Caesar and Mamba, who we haven't been using that much. So let's bring Brestle out to take out some of these gym trainers, and we'll keep Petra back until we're ready to take on the gym leader there. Okay, so Brestle took a bit of a beating there, so we ran back and healed after that fight. I did get the chance to learn Poison Powder if I wanted to, but I already have Sleep Powder on Brestle, and I'm running out of move slots, so I don't want to... Poison Powder could add a little bit of variety, but I decided not to add that. Okay, so after another trip back to heal, man, these trainers are really kicking my butt. I'm definitely glad I have Petra, because otherwise I feel like this would probably be the end of the Nuzlocke if I didn't have anybody to resist Whitney's Miltank. But I think we'll do alright in the gym. I haven't used Petra up to this point because I'm trying to get levels to the rest of my team. But it may be time to go ahead and just pull her out and go to town here. So I think we got 2 more trainers to go before we face Whitney. And we're definitely going to be healing up before we actually take on Whitney. Okay, heading on to the last actual trainer here. And then after this we're going to heal up, make sure we have enough PP and enough HP to survive the battle with Whitney. Alright, after running back to heal, here we go. This is the gym that I've been talking about pretty much all these past couple episodes. And I've been stressing about it, I've been worried about it. I have a feeling something bad is going to happen. There's going to be an unlucky critical or something like that, I don't know. But I've been pretty scared about this gym. We've already lost somebody this episode, so I mean, I'm really hoping that we can persevere through it, but we'll just have to see, I guess. So I decided to just go ahead and leave with Petra. I mean, I would rather not put anybody else in harm's way. I mean, a Clefairy... But a Clefairy has Metronome, and if I got really unlucky, I could pull off something like a Surf. And that would be the end of Petra, and that could possibly be the end of the Nuzlocke, because I don't have much to stand up against Whitney's Miltank. Luckily, Sludge Bomb only did 1 damage because it's resisted. And we got Magnitude 8, that's definitely good. If you don't know, Magnitude does a random amount of damage. Ooh, and a critical too. There we go. Clefairy did not put up any threat at all, and that's definitely a good sign. So here comes that dreaded Miltank that I've been talking about that's been foreshadowed. And this is going to be a bit scary. Do I want to boost my defense? Let's just go on the offense. Miltank actually has pretty high physical defense, so this probably won't do very much. We really need that Magnitude 10 to do a decent amount of damage. And here comes a Stomp. Yeah, for a not very effective move that did a decent amount of damage, a critical would be kind of scary, but luckily I think we're going to be okay. Unless we flinch. That's not good. Here comes the rollout. That's going to keep increasing in power, and it's not very effective, but if I don't kill this Miltank quickly, that rollout is going to get super powerful and can probably knock out Petra. Here comes another rollout, and it missed. Yes, that's awesome. That is definitely good news, because it doesn't have 100 accuracy, so it can miss, and when it misses, it resets back to 0, and we've almost taken out this Miltank. I just realized I forgot to put potions on my Pokemon. Or, not potion, forgot to put berries on my Pokemon, but that's okay. I think we're doing okay at the moment. And Miltank can heal itself off, too. We really need that Magnitude 10. There we go! There we go! Good job, Petra. Good job. Good job. Oh, it's not enough, though. It's not quite enough. And Miltank's going to keep healing up, so hopefully we can get a lucky critical again. And we do have a decent amount of PP on Magnitude. If there's a 5, that's not as good, but... yeah, we need something higher than that. Come on, Petra. Let's see another 10. Even a 9 or an 8 will do. I mean, come on, let's do this. Let's finish this. There's another 6. Yeah, that's not going to do too much. And Miltank's probably going to heal off again. One good thing is that I got lucky and got a female Geodude, because Miltank will use Attract, and Attract can be incredibly annoying if your Pokemon is the opposite gender, because it basically stops you from attacking. And I think we're about to finish this fight off here. A critical there could have killed Petra, but this Magnitude, even though it's a 4, should be enough to take out Miltank. Oh, not quite. Okay, we're probably going to want to heal up here, honestly. I was really hoping that'd be enough. Come on, Petra. Hang in there. Yeah, that rollout's going to keep getting stronger. I hope it misses. Ooh. Ooh, this is bad. This is really bad right here. I'm just going to heal again, honestly. Because I'm going to be, unless Quick Claw kicks in, I'm going to be slower than Miltank, and that rollout would be enough to finish me off. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to need to heal again, and hopefully... I'm really hoping that Rollout has maxed out in damage at this point. I'm not sure, though. I'm kind of worried. Okay, good. Okay, good. Oh, my gosh. Oh, another Rollout would have killed me if it I don't know if it reached the damage cap or not. Because it doesn't keep increasing forever. It hits a certain point where it can't go up any higher. And I'm not sure if it had hit that or not. There's a magnitude 8. There we go. There's some decent damage. Yeah, we need one more good hit. Come on. Come on, Petra. Oh, this is getting a little scary. There we go. There we go. Another magnitude 8. There we go. Miltank is down. Miltank is down. Woo! If I could give Petra a high five right now, I would, although it'd probably hurt because, no. We are not learning self-destruct. No way. But yeah, anyways, I feel like a high five with Petra would probably hurt because she's kind of rocky. But there we go. That was probably the point in the game that I was most worried about, with the exception of maybe Claire's Kingdra and possibly Red, just due to the sheer high levels that he has. But anyways, we made it. We didn't lose anybody. And unfortunately, Whitney's kind of a sore loser, and she's crying now. And this trainer luckily reassures us that she'll stop crying soon, and we should be able to get her gym badge. It seems to be a theme in this game that certain gym leaders won't give you the gym badge. Actually, you know what? It seems like it's the gym leaders who are actually really tough that don't give you the gym badge right away. Because Claire, upon beating Claire, she doesn't give you the gym badge until you go to the Dragon's Den and do some little side mission for her. And she gives us the TM for Attract, which I don't know if I'll use. I might use it at some point. But to be fair, you only have a 50-50 chance of actually being able to use it because it only works on Pokemon of the opposite gender. Anyways, I think that's probably going to be where we end off the episode for today. This episode has been full of, I feel like, emotional highs and lows. With some new catches, we lost our first team member, and we had a fairly scary battle with Whitney that luckily we came out on top and we didn't lose anybody. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you have any nickname suggestions, as always, make sure you leave them in the comments below. I haven't received any yet, but I mean, I'm not that great with nicknames, so I definitely am looking for nickname suggestions. I know we're heading to Ekritique in the next episode, and I'm not sure we can catch him there. A couple of new Pokemon, I'm sure. But anyways, thanks so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.